Hi, I am here with the amazing Anthony Denman. And I just wanted to get to know you a little bit. I met you, and well, my son and I met you a couple years ago. I can't remember how we met, but our paths crossed, and I knew you were into solar and you had a business. And so when I heard about the Hopper Home Ownership Program, Education and Resources, you were the first person I thought of. So I thought I'd reach out to you, find out a
Mhm.
little bit about you and your program and how that works.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a great impromptu meeting you and your son. What was that at? It was what was that at?
We
What was that
met at
restaurant? I
some
forgot.
restaurant.
Panera Bread. Panera Bread. That's what it was. And getting to know you all. But I got into this business. I'm from East Texas, a little small town called Rusk in East Texas. Went from there, graduated high school in '97. Then went to University of Notre Dame. Was an All-American football player there, and also majored in business management and computer applications. And from that point, I went to uh, the NFL for a few years, and after that, moved to Houston in 2004, and I've been here ever since.
Nice. And you have a family. You said you're doing track meet next week.
Yeah, I got a wife and two kids. They both run track. My daughter does all-star cheer. She's a
Oh,
world champion all-star cheer athlete. Also, she does volleyball and track. So, and my son, he's an indoor All-American in the 200 and the 60 meters and long jump. So they both they love sports.
wow, that's good. I know that keeps you busy.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, we probably had about 10 outdoor track meets this year, so it keeps you busy, keeps you, in shape a little bit, and you know, it's fun to be interacting with the kids and train with them and get them on board. Uh,
You get out
it's
there and
cool.
run with them too?
Eh, I can't run with them right now. They probably can beat me both right now, but I do a little bit, train them and get them ready, get them mentally and physically ready to go out there and do their thing.
And they're both in high school, right?
No, no. One of them, my son's 8, my daughter's 11.
Oh, wow, you got a ways to go.
Oh yeah, we've been doing it for a while. I mean, it's a youth track, but it's a big sport. There's going to be a Junior Olympics here in Houston in a few weeks, and it's probably going to be probably 14,000 athletes coming to town.
Oh, so where is it going to be?
It's going to be at Turner Stadium in Humble, Texas,
Okay.
starting on the 26th to the August, I think the 3rd. So the AAU Junior Olympics. So they have two divisions. They have AAU and they have USATF, USA Track and Field. So we mostly run on AAU side, but we have ran on both on the USATF side also.
Okay. I used to run track and cross country back in the day,
Okay, yeah,
high
yeah,
school.
definitely. I
But
tell
when
my kids, if you can run track, you can do anything.
yeah, yeah, it definitely is a good mental what's the word I'm looking for? Helps you out mentally. Let me just
Oh
put it
yeah,
that way.
if you can do that, then yeah, mental toughness is definitely going to be a key component of your life.
So one of the things that I just heard about, like I said, that Hopper program, but I hear the incentives for that is because of the big beautiful bill is going
Hmm.
away at the end of this year, December
Hmm.
31st.
Right.
So are you getting a big influx of clients now?
I mean, I've been kind of preparing myself and dealing with partners I deal with to kind of figure out what's the best path forward because a few years ago, if you remember, the interest rates rose. So then I would quote people say, oh, for solar, so your regular bill's 350 a month. If you go to solar, it's going to be 200. When they raise the interest rates, of course, they raise the interest rates across all, sectors. So that $200 quote or so I would give them would turn to 270. Well, you told me 200 last time. Well, the interest rates raised up and, you know, it's different. So the plan now is to try to get people when they're actually buying the home, so they don't have to pay those fees, those finance charges. So, for
Right.
example, say solar cash would be $30,000. With the finance charges that the banks use now, it may add 20 to 25 to $30,000 on top just on finance charges. But if
Right.
we actually get them to implement solar when they buy the home, then we can give them the cash price and that will kind of offset all the garbage that the big beautiful bill did away with, which was the solar tax credit. So the solar tax credit was kind of like a helping it go down near to the cash price. So if we can get people to go ahead and pull the trigger when they're buying a home, then that's going to be a great incentive for them to go solar.
So I asked around about people that have solar or was interested in solar, and most of the people are not a fan of it because of whatever reason. I had one person tell me she got it installed, but then it doesn't work because the company went out of business, or she didn't have a battery for it, and they didn't tell her that part. Another one said her bill. She's got a bigger bill now because she's got to pay the solar and her electricity bill, and she thought she was going to eliminate the electricity bill. So I know there's just a lot of misinformation that's going around, and a lot of companies are going out of business. So how do you how do you um, how do you combat that when you're trying to sell it to somebody?
Well, I mean, I look at myself as a consultant because I'm
Oh,
consulting them on what's the best move forward for the energy cost. And
okay.
solar is a newer industry as far as getting to the retail customer. And with anything new, it's going to be like the Wild Wild West. There's going to be some desperados out there looking to make a quick buck who doesn't care about the client. They just say, okay, I can tell them whatever they want to know, whatever what they want to hear, and then I'll move forward and get my money and go. And as far as example, if you're buying a car and I'm looking for a Toyota Camry, I can look at all the different websites. I know 20 people in my family bought cars, so I have a lot of ancestral knowledge to pass down on how to buy a car. With solar, it's totally different. It's a newer industry, and like I said, it's the Wild Wild West in a sense because it's not as regulated as some of these other industries like the energy sector or the automotive sector. So it all goes down to who you trust, if they're telling you the truth, do some research, get an unbiased opinion, um, and then look at the company, look at the people you're dealing with, and try to get some referrals on people who actually got some solar from them. Because I think
Yeah.
what's happened is, it was banks out there who were paying installers before they even installed it, and a person with bad character that they did was they would get the money, not install the solar, and have a person they have a bill. So that person has to go to court and fight all these different battles. And the other person's gone long gone to China or wherever they're going to money. So that's what's happening a lot of times. But there's a lot of good people in the industry who actually care about the industry, who are actually knowledgeable, actually wants to build a clientele base and want to do the right thing. So it's all about who you're dealing with.
So as a realtor, most of us have not had good experience with solar because
Wow.
it was a separate bill. Because
Mm,
you're trying to sell the house, now you got to sell the solar bill, and the new people may not have wanted that, or they had to qualify for it, and they didn't. So that's why I like the FHA finance program, and I'm just now finding out about it 6 months before.
yeah.
Well, hopefully that program won't go away, but the
Mm,
incentives are going away. The federal tax incentives are going away, but
right.
hopefully that program won't go away.
Yeah.
So
I think it's
basically,
gonna go ahead.
you know about the hop, how do you pronounce it? Hooper?
Hopper program, yeah, Hopper program.
Yeah, you know about it. So tell me what you know about it.
I mean, it's a program that's they implemented to get people to pull the trigger now because I tell people all the time, like, oh, I don't want to go solar. And if I add up their energy cost over 30 years, I say, well, you actually probably bought two or three solar systems if you factor in inflation, which is everybody knows 2 to 3% over 30 years. If you lock in your rate now, you're gonna save a lot of money put in your pocket. So over 30 years, you bought probably two or three solar systems and didn't even know it. So that program is basically trying to get people to, hey, number one, save money. Number two, when you go solar, you're saving the environment too, because there's more and more people born every year. It's like the population growth is going out of control. So they see the future and say, hey, you know what? I think if more people went solar, we can, reduce our carbon footprint. save a lot of money, and save the environment also. So I think it's like a three-pronged process that they're thinking about with this program. I think it's going to be a good thing. Hopefully, if it does go away, it comes back when somebody else gets in there with some sense, who wants to actually do something for the environment. Because I mean, we do have environmental problems. We can't put our head in the sand and pretend it doesn't exist. And I think maybe going coal isn't the way to go.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, let's see. It was about the solar financing.
Hmm.
What company, do you recommend any particular companies for the financing of it, or do you let the buyer find their own company?
We have companies we deal with. I mean, not companies people may have heard of, but Sunlight, different how different companies you ever heard of, kind of like kind of in-house financing.
Okay.
So, but the main thing is if like with your situation, if you're somebody buying a house now and about to pull the trigger, move forward, getting a quote and actually rolling everything in, that would save them a lot of money as far as like going through their traditional bank and adding the solar in, which you have banks for that also. But if they don't go that route and we don't have the solar tax credit, I think the the solar tax credit being eliminated is actually going to reduce the cost of solar. So I think people got to go down to a lower price on the solar because they think, okay, we get 30% back, we can make it, $90,000. So now you got to actually level set to a normal price and should make it more affordable, in my opinion. So that's in my opinion.
Yeah, I heard some of these financing companies charge like 40%, like a dealer fee or whatever, and
Right.
you pay that right off the top.
Right. So
In
discount. So
addition,
basically,
yeah,
um, that discount was added on to the cash price, but then they said, oh, you get 30% back from the federal government, but that wasn't guaranteed. So that's a lot of things that happen too. So you telling people you're going to get 30% tax credit, but you actually have to talk to your tax person to make sure you're eligible for that. So it's not a guaranteed thing you're going to get 30% back. So people were going off the fact, oh, it's going to be, you know, 260, and then with the tax credit back, it's going to be 145 or whatever. But then it happened in every single case. And now I'm mad because I didn't qualify for the tax credit and you lied to me. Well, the person who sold it to him probably didn't even know because they're getting people fresh out of, another job, give them a few weeks training and send them out there to sell. And they're not going over all the idiosyncrasies and details of what it really, entails. So that's what's happening too. Because I had people come to my house to give me pictures just to hear what the pictures were. I was like, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. I'm like, these people are just telling people anything, it seems like, but they didn't know because the company trained them in a 2 or 3 week program. Now go sell. So when
yeah.
you tell them, hey man, that's not right, that's not right. Well, that's my boss said it was right. Well, your boss isn't telling you everything. You should look into this, and that, because I don't want nobody calling you in the future and saying, hey, you told me I was going to get that 30% back. And guess what? I didn't qualify and my bill's still stuck at this number. You told me it was going to be, $90 less. So this is a bunch of misinformation, a bunch of miseducation, if you will. And, people just got to get up to speed and get a knowledgeable person who knows about the industry.
So what about somebody who doesn't want the solar anymore? They want it taken off of their roof. Is that possible?
I've helped a few people. It was a situation, a few people I knew who went solar before I got into the industry. And like you said, their friend said it didn't work. So now you want to take it down. But if you take it down, uh, you still have to owe that loan because you got a loan. So taking it down isn't as easy as it sounds. The best thing to do is probably try to force the company who put it up there to actually fix it and make it work properly because when it works properly, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, the solar industry is getting a bad rap because of bad people doing bad things, but there's a lot of people doing a lot of great things. So when it works properly, it's beautiful. I have solar on my house. Haven't had any issues, but I'm the one who did it. So, it's a difference. I mean, I don't just trust anybody to come do anything. I want to immerse myself in the industry and learn as much as I can about different kind of panels. I mean, it's a whole bunch of things. I mean, different kind of panels, different kind of inverters to make sure I'm getting the best product for myself, and then saying to my client, here's the top of the line, here's the middle of the line, and here's the bottom one. Which one do you want? The bottom, tier. Even the bottom tier is good. But what was happening also was some people were selling, say nothing against Ford Taurus, but say a Ford Taurus for a Maybach Benz price. And you as a client don't know the difference between a Ford Taurus panel and a Maybach Benz panel, and you paying Maybach Benz for a Ford Taurus, and you have no idea what you just paid for.
Got to do your research. You got to do
Yes,
your
indeed.
due diligence. And I always say compare at least three companies before you
Hmm.
make a choice. I'm a loan officer with Loan Factory, and our motto is dare to compare. So if
Hmm.
we match apples to apples here in
Right.
Texas, we'll guarantee that we can beat the other person's price, or we'll
Hmm.
give you $1,000 guarantee back.
Exactly. I've done that too. I mean, I tell people, hey, give me your quote from Sunrun. And I look at the Sunrun, I said, do you know what kind of panel this is? And I compare my panel to their panel. I'm like, man, that's a way better panel you have. And guess what? My price was lower than theirs. So which one you gonna go with? I got you better panels, better inverter, and a better price. I mean, it doesn't need to compare. But they
Mhm.
were trying, you didn't know any better. So they're gonna try to sneak it past you here.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of companies or a lot of people now are going with what is it called? It's solar, but it's like in the farm. Um yeah, I can't think of
Solar,
it.
solar farms?
Solar farms.
Right, right. Yeah.
Where they can use the power from the solar because they got a lot out in Fort Bend and Wharton
Hmm.
County. When I drive out there, I see them all over. And so
Right,
they
yeah.
can use those in their apartment. They can use them at their house without having to put the panels and everything on there.
Oh yeah. I mean, the commercial sector isn't affected as much as the residential sector as far as that big beautiful bill. There's a lot of incentives for schools to go solar, um, commercial buildings to go solar. I mean, those are going to be there for a while, especially like I said, commercial stuff, schools, uh, businesses. I mean, it just makes if you're a business person, you look at the numbers. If you can cut costs any kind of way, it doesn't make any sense to even go with the utility company. I mean, when you look at the numbers and compare and contrast. So
Mm,
that's not going to go anywhere. The main thing is the regular residential tax credit. It's going to take it away. But I think, like I said, it's going to lower the cost of solar because people have to go down their prices to make it offset the 30% tax credit.
okay. Well, that's a good thing.
Hmm.
Anything special about your company you would like to tell me about?
Yeah, I mean, it's inspired me. My brother and my brother is loves tech, and I was like, I have other things going on. He's like, man, you got to get into solar. So I'm like, I don't know if I have time for solar. So then I started researching, and I saw that it was a great product for people. Like for example, say you get solar in your house right now, and you're going to pass your home on to your daughter or your son, and imagine passing them on. House is paid for, and you don't have a utility bill anymore. So you pretty much passing on something free and clear. I like the generational wealth it can create because if I'm spending over 30 years, $90,000 on electricity bill, another 30 years, I'm spending another $90,000. That's a lot of money. So I like that fact. That's why I got into this business to be able to help people, financially, be able to have them put money in their pocket and, create generational wealth, money you really don't, count for. For example, like in the car business, if I get a car and it's 20% interest and I also get that same loan at 4% interest, that's hidden money most people don't care about. Like, oh, I'm just paying 700 as opposed to 400, but that 300, that $400 difference is, a lot of money in your pocket over time.
Mhm.
So, every dollar counts. And I feel like in our community, we're not really paying that much attention to those kind of numbers, but other communities are. I mean, I know people from different countries and they don't like paying interest. They don't pay any interest. It's like against their religion to pay interest. But we get caught up in these interest cycles, and it's not for our good, it's for our detriment. I think that was inspired me to get into this business. And I saw a bunch of people doing some crooked things like you're talking about. And I was like, wait, we got to have a company out there that can partner with people and do the right thing and actually educate the client on what they're actually getting and not just say, oh, I got a great price for you. And like I said, it's a Ford Taurus, and you're paying Maybach being price, but people
Wow.
are being targeted because they don't know.
Yeah, they tell them you don't have a electricity bill, but they got a solar bill that they got
Mhm.
to pay off. So how long does the solar panels last?
Well, it's called so say for example, day one, your panel is producing 100%. The best panels, it's called degradation, in 25 or 30 years is going to be at 90 to 94% production that it was at day one. So I put a panel up there today, 30 years from now, it's producing 90% of what it produced in day one. So in that case, in 30 years, you might either have to take out a couple of panels and add some new panels, but it lasts, I mean, probably, and I would say maybe 50 years or more,
Oh, it'll
easily.
last longer than the roof.
Oh yeah, it lasts longer than a roof. Yeah, for sure. It's called degradation. So in 30 years, if you got a panel produce 100% day one, in 30 years, the best panels right now are going to produce at about 90 to 95% of what it produced at day one. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Because you would think it'd be, you'd be at 80%, but that's in the beginning of the industry. But with the technology increasing more and more over the years, they're getting it closer to 90, 95% of production that it produced on the day one that you had on the roof 30 years later. So it's pretty phenomenal.
Now, I also heard that you have to clean them periodically.
Oh yeah, you get dust up there, so you get somebody to spray it off with a pressure washer. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, you got to get somebody because most people aren't going to go up on their roof and do
Now
it.
you're not gonna go up on that roof unless you're a professional. I mean, I went up on some roofs. I'm like, man, I'm squatting down low, and yeah, I get up there. I get my hands dirty sometimes too, but on a not a steep and high roof. I'm going on a low roof. I'm not going on the high roof. So
So in our community that we're gonna build, we're gonna use solar, but we're probably I don't know if we're gonna put it on the roofs, but we're gonna definitely have a farm, solar
hmm
farm there, and maybe have some solar over the pergola, the canopies and things like that,
hmm
charging stations and things like that. So I'll definitely be calling you for consultation with that once
Oh
we.
yeah, we can definitely take care of you on that. I mean, that's a smart move. I mean, to be able to have free energy, and then if you want to get some batteries or generator, we can do that too.
And then they talked about, selling it back. I don't know how that works. I guess the excess you don't use, you sell back to the
The
power
grid.
company.
So it's basically when you get solar, it's like you have your own power plant. So any excess solar, you can, sell back to the grid. But when you have a commercial, in that situation, it'd be commercial. You literally do have your own power plant. You make a deal with the center point or whoever, and you're in a business for real. It's a real business.
Does that qualify for agricultural exemption?
It could. I got to look at the details where it is and everything. It definitely could, because I mean, the agriculture exemption, you can get money from the government, a lot of money to actually put your solar in. They want it so bad. They're not getting rid of that. I'm pretty sure they're not. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure they're not getting rid of that. So all the commercial things are still pretty much in place, and I'll double check with you, of course, and to make sure. But I mean, that's when you're really doing solar as a business, to do some commercial project like you're talking about, to be able to say I'm a business and I'm having to deal with Centerpoint, and I got, you know, there's just a lot that goes into it. And I think it's a good thing for us to look into as a community.
Yeah, because my son, the Tesla guru, he wants to
Yeah.
have a he wants to have a power charging station,
Yeah.
out there. So
More and more people are going solar. I mean, the more and more people go solar, I think it's going to get better overall for people who are going solar. So what I mean by that is more legislation benefiting solar, because right now it's kind of like 5% of people, but they project in 2035 maybe 15-20% of people going solar. So the more people go solar is going to help, down the line with legislation and things like that.
and we're down here in the oil and gas capital. So how do they feel about the solar.
It's funny that you mentioned that because a lot of these big companies, they're telling you don't go solar, and over here they got a whole solar farm with 20 getting this huge, huge investments in solar. But they're trying to get their teeth deep into solar and then say, okay, yeah, solar's good. They're not telling you what they're doing behind the scenes. It's a lot of
Hmm.
companies out there buying a lot of land and they building huge solar farms, and you have no idea. If you look it up, you'll see.
Wow.
So they're telling you don't go solar. For example, a lot of these energy companies right now, like CenterPoint, they saying you don't have to go solar. You can just get your solar from our solar farm. Huh? They have a solar program that you can actually get the energy from the energy produced from their solar farms. So I'm like, wait a minute, don't go solar. Just buy from us. It's basically the same thing. You're saving the planet and all that sort of stuff. So, but they telling you don't go solar because every time you don't go you go solar, it's taking a client from them. They're losing a customer every time. So what's going to happen over time? The more and more customers they lose, guess what? The existing customers are going to pay the price for the lost customers.
Hmm.
They're going to increase the prices. So that's
So
the game.
have you heard of Think Energy?
Think energy.
Uh,
What is that?
Think Energy. It's a power company, solar, well, not solar company, but an energy company. But
Hmm.
they're telling us that people like in Illinois, they're not in all states there, they're in like 13 states.
Okay.
But wherever they're deregulated, they're trying to get in there. And anybody can get on this program where it's called AutoSave, where it'll automatically give you the lowest rate of
Hmm.
the provider um, if you get on their program. So you don't have to like switch around and shop around and do
Hmm.
all that finagling if you don't renew your bill, your
Yeah.
contract, it goes up after that. So that's a company that I just recently got involved with, but it's called Thinking.
Okay.
I'll send you some information on it.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, but
Awesome.
people that live in a house that they don't own, they can't put solar on
Mm,
it. So, you know,
right.
everybody doesn't want a solar roof, but they still want to use the solar power. So
Right.
it's good for that. And they got all
Interesting.
these farms out here generating it, so it's got to go somewhere.
Exactly. I mean, it's bigger than what people think. They don't see it, but once it gets too big, the opportunities are gonna, diminish. So people who have land can get the farm, the solar farm credit, try to get it, try to do
I'm,
something with it.
I'm looking for land. Anybody got some land that want to sell in Fort Bend County? Or
I didn't Fort Bend. I could find out though.
actually, I say Fort Bend. I kind of want to stay west and west or south. I don't really
Mm,
want to go like toward Dayton or Livingston. I kind of want to stay
mm,
on the side of town. Uh,
okay.
but it could be, Worden County, Brazoria County,
Hmm.
you know, Harris County. But the properties are so expensive.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll
not.
keep my ear to the ground for sure.
I appreciate that.
Hmm.
You just never know who you know,
Is
who wants to sell
exactly
something, who wants to buy something.
right, right. There's plenty of opportunities out there for sure.
Mhm. Well, I appreciate you taking the time and letting me know about your company. Oh, give me the name of your company so I can put that on here and how we can.
Okay. It's a universal SOL, like the sun, energy. So universal energy.
Okay, and the contact you have.
On my number is 281-836-2027, or you can check out the website universalenergy.com.
Okay, sounds good. I'll make sure to put that in the notes and I'll send you a
Awesome.
copy if I get it recorded.
Excellent. Excellent. Appreciate it. Appreciate you inviting me and giving me your time and your audience. And hopefully we can get some things going and get everybody taken care of.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Okay.
You too. Bye-bye.